Hey, I got someone to tour.
We are live, and James. I think James just got a delivery, but it might have been the fluffer we were talking about earlier, Chris. I don't know.
Really
Hey,
particular.
I'll be back in about 5-10.
Okay, all right. So this, we're gonna start things off. We're gonna rewind what we did, and and yeah, we where we last left off. The B team was on Wildman, trying to get back to the rest of the crew of the Harrier, with the Harrier rather. Uh, had run into a situation on Wildman where they were trying to help secure a subsidized liner that apparently was like a traveling carnival menagerie. It had a ton of animals and stuff, weird space alien animals in its hold. The crew of the subsidized trader tried to take down the crew, our travelers, our friends, the travelers, in a fierce firefight that claimed a member of the crew. But they were able to get down the rest of the crew. On board, they found Chris, who is a historian, not a historian, but a professor of linguistics, I believe, right?
That is correct. Yeah, and I have a pretty thorough backing in law as well.
Got it. What's your character's name? I think you're showing the character from like one of our Call of Cthulhu names.
Oh, I am.
Games.
I apologize. Yeah, hang on just a second. Let me fix that.
Not a problem. Just throw that up, and we'll get that when we get to it. But yeah, you're a professor of linguistics. You're also handy at a few other things on a ship. I think you're really good with computers, which on a ship that's as top of the line as the Harrier will be very handy. You are an actual member of the Imperium, which is a little bit of a la-di-da kind of a thing for these people out in the Trojan Reach. Yeah, so you consider yourself, of the Imperium, which is kind of like, you're basically an ugly American, honestly, without being quite that ugly. You're like, in the Imperium, we do things like this, and everybody's like, you're not in the Imperium now.
Anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. But you actually ran across an actual historian. The fellow's name?
Professor Belzoni.
Yeah. Utah Mirabar Hot Belzoni. FIAS, FIHS, PhD, and a dozen other acronyms. Hails from the distant world of Regina, far away in the Spinward Marches. He is professor of archaeology at a famous university there, specializing in historical naval technology. His landmark thesis on Villani logistics during the Fifth Interstellar War is required reading for those suffering from chronic insomnia. But yeah, about 20 years ago, Belzoni tells you all on your trip back to Drinax as you gathered him up. Hot Belzoni obtained a curiosity, a message globe. Devices are common across charted space. Each globe contains a secure message that can only be opened with the proper authorization. Opening the globe without the right key and its contents are instantly erased. This particular globe bore the emblem of the Empire of Sindal and came from the distant world of Albay. One of the most important worlds in the old Empire. We're talking like the old Villani Empire. We're talking the first Imperium. You're in the third Imperium now. The very first Imperium. And is now an Imperial Protectorate. This globe was a message intended for the Duke of Albay and required ducal level clearance to open. Even more astounding, the date stamp on the globe showed it was only a few days before the fall of Noricum. Presumably, similar message globes were dispatched to other key systems of Sindal, but never arrived in the chaos of the Civil War. So, he believes, based on the timestamp, that it definitely had something to do with the very end of the Sindal Empire. The Sindal Empire is basically the back when your current patron, your current patron actually hails from the the old Sindalian Empire. That's what he's trying to restore, is the glory of the great Sindalian Empire, which basically was the entire Trojan Reach area. King Olaf, your current patron, he is like one of the main descendants of that line. So if anybody has like the ducal codes, it would be him. So you're like, well, this is like the opportunity of a lifetime kind of a thing. Just literally fell into your laps. Of course, we're going to take you to our patron. See if you can pop this globe open and see what it says. So yeah, you guys figured, like, when the mission was over, that was probably your get back point anyway, was Drinax, the planet of Drinax, with the floating city over the ruins of the planet of Drinax. So yeah, you guys are traveling back, and it takes you probably the better part of a month, doing about four jumps to get back to there. Let me check consult the star charts on that. I'm pretty sure I'm right. But it would take you a bit, even with a jump 3 ship like the Harrier. Which would get you there slightly after Captain Hoshna and the rest of the crew got back with the other ships, the cargo hauler and the scout ship. You would be there probably just, if not quite, probably about less than a week, probably 4 days. As my map is jamming things up. Let's see. Wildman. Wildman with an E.
I just keep thinking of the song every time I hear that name.
What's that?
Wildman.
I'm not familiar with it.
Wild Thing, though? Have you heard of that song?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's see. Where are we at in relation to Wildman is there. And Drinax. Yeah, I would take 1, 2, 3. It would take you yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it would take you about a better part of a month to get back to Drinax. So again, the two sets of crews are, the A team and B team, are reunited. So Cat Killer Steve can give a full report of what happened back on Wildman to Captain Hoshna and what happened.
Not to interrupt, but in that time, because I'm kind of I know that they took me on as the crew, but do I need to do anything official for them in that time? I want to make sure that I've got a job when we get there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, you could look at their computers and stuff, and even though they are, I mean, like the technology is like bleeding edge. It's like tech level 16. It's like bleeding edge tech. It's still old. It's weird. Like each, not like the whole galaxy doesn't advance at the same level.
Right.
Some parts of it get better tech, much faster than others.
Yeah.
And so the capabilities of the tech is considered tech level 16, which again is bleeding edge tech. But there's several parts of it that are still old that you can basically, update.
Okay.
You can do some patches and stuff like that, and get it running with Imperium databases and stuff like that. But get it to operate a little more smoothly and stuff like that. Yeah, make your computers roll while you're spending that month in travel.
Basically, you're a dev programmer at this point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly.
Glad you took that C++ course, but
No, right. So
Do
apparently
I have any
care,
skills?
I didn't care too much. I'm going to say 9.
9 is not bad. It's 9's better than average. So yeah, you are doing your job. You're not like, I got it done in a day, boss. But you are getting it done.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, the explain the Harrier to you that others might not remember, and it is new to you. The Harrier is basically like this gull wing looking sort of Corvette, for want of a better word. Really slender, cool looking ship. I know I've got a thing with a profile on it here, but it is a really, really beautiful ship, and in typical Drinaxian fashion, it's like blinged out. I mean, it's literally blinged out. Like there's brass fittings on like the consoles and stuff like that, and
Flash
jewel,
Gordon.
yeah, like jewel encrusted, like function keys. I mean, it's blinked. I mean, it's. I mean, it's ostentatious is not an incorrect word to describe the Harrier. This could be a really cool Corvette, fighting Corvette, or an awesome diplomatic ship. One or the other. It depends on the mission that you have for it, because any of its staterooms are plush and compared to normal traveler accommodations. I mean, it has, like a sonic shower. So, one big like queen size bed, not like a bunk bed.
All right.
So yeah, ceilings. You have to ask for that, but they would, it could come to that. But yeah. I mean, you think of, there's carpet on the decks, even. It's not like the metal decks. You're like, what? Whoa, wait, what? Will this work with grab boots? That kind of a deal. So yeah, it is like I said, the Harrier is a very, very plush ship. So yeah, you're like you've never been in a ship and felt like this comfortable before. You're like, oh, this is nice. This is very, very nice. So yeah, you come to you land on Drinax, back on your familiar port, and you're used, Drinax is starting to become familiar stomping grounds to like Sir Lackerty, and several others of the Harrier. Not so much to Pedro and Hoshna, because they actually come from Drinax, and they would tell you over the course of their travels about how Drinax is. Actually, Captain Hoshna, Pedro, if you don't mind, give him the info, the background of how there's like, it's definitely two different kinds of caste systems, and how it all works on Drinax.
Wow.
So there's the city, the floating city, and you have
The rest of us.
Yeah.
you have the noble people who are not true Drinaxians. They're descended from the people who have conquered Drinax over the past 200 years. And then you have the true Drinaxians who are delegated to the desert wasteland, or not the desert wasteland, but the
Yeah, it's pretty much
yeah,
wasteland.
it's think Dune.
Fallout Dune. You're not too far off. Yeah.
There was a massive war. Drinax was obliterated except for the floating city by the Aslans 200 years ago.
Yeah.
And whoever controls the floating city controls Drinax, and it sits like in a primo spot that everybody kind of wants control of it. But the Drinaxians, we get scraps. So if you live on the surface, you're crap.
Okay. All right. I'm tracking. I get it.
So so Hashna in Teledrift and Ev, Elise's character Ev, they're all Drinaxian from the surface.
One way or another, we were all in prison and came together on this movie set of a ship.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to survive since I was just incarcerated for jaywalking.
Yeah. Oh, I completely stole all those survival suits.
Bye, Matt.
I lost Matt.
So anyway, we get all the riches. The ship is totally fixed. I think my square is now in the GM spot. Yeah. So anyway.
What was our reward again? All right.
Billions and billions of credit. Here, let me roll a D6.
How many billions?
2 billion credits. Still can't buy the trillion credit squadron, but hey, we're on our way.
Definitely.
We have a fleet of corvettes under us, all flown by Vargar pirates.
Military conquest, anyone? I mean,
yes, we're back in business.
Yeah.
We are building a fleet. I mean, we've got 3 ships now?
No, we have 103. You got to count in the Vargar pirates that we've taken over.
Because we are now going to replace the pirate lords.
That's right.
Yep.
I have a feeling Thieve is going to be renamed Alacrity.
All right. He'll be right back. He lost connection.
Oh, we know you lost connection, Matthew. You're not here.
So Pedro, what role do you have on? I assume the other ship. Is that how this is going? Where we have 2 ships that are part of this fleet?
3.
Three.
Yeah.
But I stick by Captain Kasha.
Okay. Bodyguard.
And
Council. Yeah. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah.
sounds about right. Yeah.
Well, you're not an official politician yet, so it can't be cabinet member.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. And Hashna's small, so most surface dwellers or Drinax, because there's not a lot of food out there, are small and scrawny and look like they're always starving. Hence, Ev's character always eating.
We're on the leaner side.
Yeah. So we've got the Dragnar, which is the big really shag carpeted, really nice ship. We've got a salvage hauler called the Pelican. And then we have a free trader scout ship called the Safe Bet.
I thought it was an actual free trader, not a scout ship.
I don't know. I'm reading off the Excel document that I made. So I've just got free trader green scout ship. So I might have it logged wrong.
Okay.
Is it free trader?
We'll clear it up afterwards.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's going to matter at the moment. And I'm not even sure it's a free trader. It might be a far trader.
That could be right. I can go back at my notes. I might have it written down.
Same thing, just longer legs. It's got a jump 2 instead of a jump 1.
Yeah, I'm looking.
It's
Well,
okay.
It's been a while. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
You would know, your character wouldn't know eventually that Teledrift is a psionic.
Those are outlawed in this. I don't play a lot of Travelers, so I'm still new.
They're outlawed in the Imperium. We are not in the Imperium.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So I might look down on that.
You probably through propaganda are a little bit fearful of him once you find that out.
Okay.
Because the main Cold War and Hot War enemy of the Imperium is usually the Zodani.
Okay.
And in their society, psionic capable people are the nobles. And their society is peaceful and bland because when you have issues with how you are treated in life, they fix your brain.
Got it. All right. All right.
I tend to fix people's brain with my words versus any abilities.
Got it.
Hey,
I'm a psychologist.
hey, my background means I have no issues with you, Teledrift, at all.
I don't know. You wouldn't, unless someone told you, or unless you saw Hashna fight, you might not realize that she's also a psionic.
I'll play it when I see it.
I am not psionic. I just think differently from most sentient beings.
I'll just play the straight man. How about that?
I have psychological issues.
Which makes Teledrift really interested in talking to Sir Alacrity.
You're more than welcome to. He views the cosmos in a different light. He has never gone against Hashna. Never.
No,
But his suggestions might go against her principles. But she should be aware that those are options.
she's definitely learned a lot from Sir Alacrity. If you watched The Expanse, I would kind of say Sir Alacrity kind of reminds me of Amos a bit. Except for
I've never watched it. I honestly haven't.
Really?
And
Amos is the best character on there.
I didn't get
freaking
into
love
it.
Amos. James and I have this argument all the time about whether who's better, Jane or Amos from
Jane from Serenity, Firefly, or Amos from The Expanse.
yeah.
And I say it's Jane from Serenity, Firefly.
Only
In which
because
case,
you
I'm
buy it.
playing a
Haven't
slightly
seen.
smarter Jane. Okay, but I'm sorry. Jane's got the hat. Amos ain't got Jack.
Team Amos all the way.
So Hashna and I obviously butt heads on certain subjects, but otherwise we work well together. Okay, Matt, are you rebuilding the computer
No
or
way.
rebooting the computer?
Wow.
He might have to send that computer out to Jeremy.
Speaking of computers, I recently got myself a new laptop.
Very nice.
Yeah, I did too.
I'm waiting for it to be delivered.
You're waiting for it to be what?
Delivered.
Okay. What's the issues with your old one, if I may ask?
It's old. Just that. I'm upgrading.
Okay.
I want the new one to handle better processes.
All right, Matt. Since you had to step out, I took over the game. We've gotten 2 billion credits. We have a fleet of 100 Vargar Corsairs, and we're ready to take over the universe.
Why stop at Drinax? Oh, we can't hear you, dude. Oh,
Still can't hear you.
still can't hear you.
You got the little switch on? Top, yeah.
How about that?
Yep.
Yep.
Now we can hear you.
There we go. Sorry. Yeah, my other computer just lost connection, so I was like, we'll hop on this little laptop and get things going here. Figure out what's going on with the actual computer later. All right, so yeah, thanks for the unexpectedly extended explanation of the situation on Drinax. But yeah, basically you're bringing back this historian who has a message globe, and don't know what's on it. You know, it's from right at the fall of the Sindalian Empire, which King Oleb is all about bringing back, and it purports to hold the location of the treasure of Sindal, as far as what the professor says, and actually the professors work quite a bit with you as well, Chris, because you are up on your Villani, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah. Mhm.
So you are able to catch some of the different dialects and aspects that the computer might not have, and stuff like that. So you're like, well, you transpose this and it makes this, and you're like, oh, okay, kind of like how like Old English, the S's look like F's, that kind of thing.
Why I study linguistics. Why it's such a fascinating thing.
Fascinating.
So is it entomology or etymology?
It is etymology.
Enta's animals, right? Yeah.
Yeah, insects, I believe. Yeah.
Insects, yeah. All right. So yeah, you get back and you meet back with Captain Hashna. So Betty's back playing Hashna again. You get back with Pedro. Everything's all happening and happy and stuff like that. Teldrift's character, Pedro's character Teldrift. Sir Lacrity is back.
Lacrity never left.
Oh, that's right. So the band is together again. With a new crew member, this linguistics guy who's really good with computers. So we ignored it. He's just the linguistics guy, but he's fluent in DOS. I don't know what else to tell you, but
Exactly.
Basically, Chris, you're basically the C-3PO of the adventure. I don't know what else to say.
Okay.
You will be. You will be the C-3PO.
I'm the straight man. You can play
You're
everything
straight
off
man.
me. Great man.
Dino.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's right.
Nice. All right. So yeah, when so Thal Pollock, Thaopolloc, he remember he's the Imperial representative on Drinax. He's like the Imperial ambassador. I don't know if you got your old crypt sheets from like when we introduced the slew of nobility and stuff like that, the muckety mucks in the floating city. But yeah, he's like the Imperial ambassador on Drinax. Once he gets word, that you all are here, especially with Hot Belzoni, he is all about we definitely got to make a big to do of this. This could put Drinax back on the map and get some official recognition from the Imperium. That of course Thal would more than likely help facilitate and stuff like that. So he's kind of seizing this opportunity to get a bigger audience with the King Olab and stuff like that. And he brings you all in there into the throne room with much pomp and circumstance and all that good stuff. And he brings the news to King Olab about what's going on. And he insists on having a state dinner to welcome back the Harrier crew and the arrival of Hot Belzoni and this new academic here, Mr. Arter again.
Professor Arter. Yes.
Professor Arter. Okay.
It's PhD, MC, and JK. Those are my official credentials.
Got it. Nice. So yes, the king is very happy to do it. Think Brian Blessed in Flash Gordon, King Voltan's character, Chris, and you're not far off at all.
Okay.
With King Olab, big burly guy with a beard, very kind of stuff like that. Big teeth. The whole thing. Very very Brian Blessed. He even has like a grav belt and and hawk wings, kind of like that. He has like a hawk guard where they have grav belts and they do like floating. They do like flights and hunts and stuff like that over Drinax, where all the peasants can look up and go, "Oh, yay! There's the king on one of the hunts again."
All right.
Fucker. I know, that kind of thing. But the guard's basically there to protect him while he's on his hunts and stuff like that. Yeah. You take King Voltan and Robert Baratheon from Game of Thrones, and you've got a pretty good picture of King Olab. Likes to party, likes to be bigger than he is, But he's trying. He's trying really hard to make a name for himself and his lineage. He does have a daughter and a son, Professor Rowell, Princess Rowell, and a son. The name escapes me. Anybody got their notes handy?
Prince Herrick.
Yeah, because that was like 100 years ago.
Yeah, Prince Herrick with an H, right?
Yep, and Prince Herrick is about 90% artificial.
Yeah. Like when you're introduced to him, you're like, whoa. You're not sure where the human starts and he and the machine ends. But it's very high end because he's got like artificial skin that looks real. But he just moves with like a smooth, fluid android sort of quality, never blinks, that kind of a thing, and you're like, man, is it just a brain in there? We're not really sure, and everybody keeps him hushed up. He just kind of comes out and makes an appearance, surrounded by a retinue of the Hawk Guard and stuff like that as well. And everybody's very protective of him. He actually fought in a major battle against the Aslan, and like most of his body was destroyed in the battle. So he was like elevated to this hero status, and he's like, Prince Herrick, and everybody's like, they're remembering the memory of the great battle that he was in against the Aslan. Princess Rowell is a lovely young lady. She's actually the one that came up with the idea of using the Harrier on raids and pirate sort of things to raise up capital to get the Sindalian Empire kickstarted again. this was actually all her plan, and she's had some really awkward encounters with Captain Hashna, where they're both like, "This is weird," kind of a moment between the two of them. But a lot of people are just kind of going on with it. She basically is kind of running things in stride with her father, while Prince Herrick, who actually is older and should be in line, and should be taking care of most of the stuff, isn't, because even though he was this great hero of this battle and stuff like that, there's still a stigma with like cybernetics and cyborgs and stuff, so forth, that a lot of people aren't putting a lot of faith in him. They're like, how much of his soul is left, Then you can see like they basically are keeping him alive, in reverence for what he has done, more so than oh yeah, you're the princess, you're the king's son, kind of a deal. But yeah, it's like King Olb's running the show. Princess Rowell is taking care of details that Olab can't be bothered with. that kind of a deal. One of them being you guys. She's the one that came up with the plan of taking on the treasure ship, which turned into not quite the haul that you wanted to, but still really impressive. And when she gets word back about the scroll, I mean that the Treaty of Fist, I mean that's gonna change things in this sector big time, especially with the way it was altered, I think, by the crew. So yeah, I believe.
What are you talking about?
I believe there was some adjustments made to the treaty, but just a few things.
Just a few tweaks.
A few tweaks here and there.
Is that something I can review and understand, especially given my law background?
Absolutely. I mean, and that would be something that you could definitely help out with in a future time.
Sure.
But now it's not that time, and now it's party time. So yeah, they have like this big state dinner and stuff like that. And of course, all the muckety mucks that are known to hang around in the throne room and stuff like that, like the court, so to speak, are there. And it's more like a cocktail party than it is an actual dinner. I mean, there is food and stuff like that, but everybody's basically like walking around, talking to each other, or carrying drinks and stuff like that, while the little drinks are floating around on little repulsor lift kind of little deals, anti-grav trays. Probably Elisa's character, if she was here, probably get a real weird feeling when those grav trays come along. She hears the whine of the grav engine. Remembers her time in the gravity dungeons down on the bottom of the floating city. Yeah,
and
I'm
sure no one has arranged for them to just float out of her reach with a bowl of pretzels.
She's like, yeah, rat bastard. Yeah, she did describe herself as kind of short too, so they set the repulsors at like 6 feet. Nice. Poor Lisa. Poor Ev. But anyhow,
away from her Twinkie jar.
Exactly. So yeah, everybody's having fun at the dinner and talking about things. The king has decreed that they will do like the opening tomorrow morning at the Scholars Tower in the floating city. But yeah, Hot Bozoni is basically describing during the dinner, how he found the message globe and he does need the ducal codes from the floating palace's archives to open it. Everybody's excited about what this treasure could be. What's the actual worth of it, and who's going to get their cuts and stuff like that as far as how it goes, because Albe is technically in the Imperium now. So it's like, well, does the Imperium get a cut now that it's under the Imperial control? Does Drinax get all of it? How much is going to be worked out? And Hot Blazzoni's like, he's not really here to worry about any of that. He kind of mentions aside to you, Davian, that he's looking at the book deal. He's like, you want to co-write a book with me on this? We can make some real money on this. And he's like, I don't know what this treasure is going to be either, but I plan to write a book, detailing the adventures of finding these message globes and finding the actual treasure wherever it may be. And
okay. Wouldn't
so he's like,
video production be a little bit more lucrative? I look at him.
Oh, well, that could be as well. Yes. Especially on the gorgeous ship like the Harrier, the Dragnar. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty sweet. Yeah.
Good documentary one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Coming to
but yeah, he's talking with you, and and he's getting into a rather long diatribe. He's like, you're fluent in Villani, correct?
Yes, I am.
So concerning Villani logistics during the glory of the Star Empire, around minus 1186, and he starts going on to this thing, and you can just see like the people around you, just like their faces just. And you're absolutely riveted. Yeah, you're riveted. Yeah, exactly.
I'm all about it.
Exactly. And like the other people are like, "Oh, my cup's empty." Let me go get a refill. That kind of thing. But yeah, he talks about various aspects of again Villani logistics, and how even though it was technically the first Imperium, there was still a lot of trouble with it trying to maintain control of the Imperium, and how it stagnated and basically just kind of fell apart. And he goes over the different causes and stuff for you. It's kind of like the whole rise and fall. He gives you like you're talking the rise and fall of the Roman Empire, at a cocktail party, and everybody's like, "Wow." Just wow. So other people come and talk to you all and get things going. Make polite discussion with you. Lady Hill, I don't know if you remember Lady Hill, Sir Lackerty. She was the old OG lady among the courtiers. She has all the social niceties and puts the noble and nobility, kind of thing.
Elderly, refined. She has grace, dignity, noble of the court, and is the head of protocol.
Exactly. So she's basically she approaches you, and she's like, "So I see you've assembled quite a little flotilla of ships in your you and the captain here lately."
Yes, it's not even a flotilla.
Don't be modest.
It's merely a starter for what we're going to do.
Oh well, I'm glad to see such ambition there, sir. She has a hard time getting out that sir part, but she's like, didn't
mentally choke on it, bitch. But anyway,
exactly. She says, since there is the possibility of you and your captain having party ships being part of the Drinaxian Navy, perhaps we should make plans to integrate you further into Drinaxian society.
I'm listening.
She says, "Well, if I could, plop little bits of advice and things to you about how to proceed, at court, to be able to, get things done, so to speak. If you would be interested."
You would be very useful at court.
well, thank you. Yes, I'm not without my talents. Would you be willing to accept me as your sponsor?
Sponsor. How you were offering an assist? How is that a sponsorship? Please give me the full details.
Again,
I am busy.
She says again. I would be able to give you advice on how to handle affairs again in court. Be able to make yourself heard. Be able to garner the respect and the will of certain members of court to get things done.
I appreciate that. How is that a sponsorship?
Well, without, I hate to say it, but without a lot of my influence and backing, I'm sure you would have a lot of difficulty getting things done that wasn't directly under King Oleb's control.
I understand that, but I'm still trying to understand how it's a sponsorship.
Again, I'm sponsoring you in the ways of court.
Perhaps I have a different meaning of sponsorship. I'm not originally.
You mean money? No, there's no. That's such a crude term. No, this is something beyond money. This is respect. This is power. This is influence. You can't put a tangible quality on what I offer.
Okay. So since we're talking in intangibilities, what effervescent thing can I give to you in exchange for this sponsorship?
Oh, any information that you garner along your travels that you think would be useful. Not exactly to King Oleb, but more to perhaps me or Princess Rowell.
I think we can make an arrangement.
Very good, very good. I hope we be able to discuss that further.
Yeah, we clink glasses.
Clink glasses. Ship change scene. So yeah, Chieftain Gawks of the Vespexers. So this was like the head of the people on the planet below.
Oh, gotcha, right.
Yeah, Chieftain Gawks. He approaches Hashna and Teledrift and is talking to the two of you, and he's like, You've done such great things for the Drinaxian people. Muad'Dib, basically just comes short of saying Muad'Dib. The Captain Hashna. So you obviously are the right choice that we have made to help represent the Drinaxians in their struggle against the king.
The fight is far from over.
Yeah.
Yes. So I understand that you have been hiring certain Drinaxians on the crew of your ships.
Yeah.
I cannot be more happy to hear that. That's if we're to actually help, and he's quotes air quotes, help King Oleb make the Sindalian Empire whole again. Of course, the Drinaxians can only benefit by getting their star legs, under them, if they will, on mighty ships, just as yours. As a matter of fact, there are several other people who have inquired about serving on ships such as yours. I would like to introduce them to you at some time.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We're hoping to expand our fleet in the near future. So
Excellent. That's just wonderful news. He says, yes, of course they're not here. Of course, at the state dinner, they wouldn't quite be welcome here. But perhaps sometime soon I can give you their profiles, and you can look over them and see if they would be worthy to serve on a cruise such as yours.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just send them my way, and I'll take a look, and we'll see if we can find a spot for them.
Okay.
It's important that they hold key positions. You understand?
I can't agree more. I'm so glad we see eye to eye on that situation. And he looks at Teldriff. He goes, Teldriff, can we have a quiet discussion over here? I have some other issues about your family that I need to discuss with you.
Yes, let's.
Okay. And they kind of go off into a quiet alcove and kind of leave Captain Hashna there going, well, that was awkward. But,
I'll look around I'll look around and look for Princess Raw.
Princess Raw?
Since I'm already uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's ground pounders. What do you expect about manners?
So you're seeing Princess Rowell talking to a very large, they're always large, Aslan, grizzled-looking sort of Aslan, and a woman with like light reddish hair. I guess the term's ginger, long straight reddish hair, and she's talking to the two of them. Both of them look like spacers, travelers, kind of like you.
Okay. Yeah, I am definitely gonna look up because I don't know a lot about horde etiquette. So
okay. So yeah, you go to talk to Princess Rowell, and of course she has her retinue around her and stuff like that. Of her people, her hangers on. Ladies in waiting, I guess, and that sort of thing, and of course also guards. But yeah, she's definitely talking to these two. She doesn't seem like she's really interested in the conversation. Like they're trying to propose something to her, and she's kind of like, whatever, kind of a deal. Of course, when she sees you come up, she gets that same knee-jerk reaction she always does with you. She's like, ooh, hi.
Hello. Would you?
Yes.
Have a moment.
Yes. May I introduce? And she introduces. Pardon me. She introduces Farouk, the Aslan, and Dai. She introduces the two of them. She says they're travelers, a lot like you. They're doing several different jobs and stuff for the Drinaxian court, and the Aslan comes up to you all like big and huge and powerful and stuff like that, and offers his paw to shake hands, kind of a deal. Do you accept it?
No.
Oh!
I'll just kind of look at him and I'll go, wow. It's been a while since I've seen one of you around here.
Yes, I'm afraid I do feel out of place here a little bit. Yes. Yes.
That's good.
But one works where one can. Yeah. And but Dai, when she looks at you, DAI, she looks at you, and then she looks at you like her eyes open up when she looks, like it's kind of like when you're reading a book and you found something that's just floors you, read something that just floored you, and you're like, wait, I got to read that again. She just completely like non-poker faces that whole moment, and she's like, Captain Hashna, it's really wonderful to see you. Yes.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, your name was Die? Is that
Yes.
what I heard?
Die. I think we have a mutual acquaintance, Peter Velis.
Ah, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I've known it.
He is a good acquaintance to have.
Yeah. He's done us pretty good so far. He's been inquiring about you and how well you guys have done. He says, he's been following your exploits as well, and he's really impressed with you all.
Well, that's good. That's good. Have you seen him lately?
Actually, I just saw him a couple weeks ago before we traveled here. He was asking. Yeah, back on Thebe, exactly. He was wondering if you were able to keep a certain element away from your objective. On your last excursion.
I will have to reach out to him.
Yes.
Give him an update.
And he says, and when she says, a certain objective, she motions just like her eyes roll towards like the Aslan, not that Aslan, but an Aslan that we know. She's like,
yes. There's been, it's been an eventful month. Let me tell you. Yep. It's been an eventful month. So how is things on Thebe?
Thebe's doing really well. Doing really well. We're actually considering moving the what did they call it? The big three. Since you uncovered that element for us.
I'll tell you in just a second. The Lords of the City.
The Lords of the City. Yeah, we're actually thinking of moving the entire city to a new planet since you uncovered what happened with one of the lords, and one of the lords being an actual naval. I mean, we knew he was Navy, but we didn't know he was still Navy until you came across that information for us.
Yeah, he had conflicting loyalties, so best clear those things up.
Yes, definitely.
Well, then, if there's going to be a change in leadership, might have to make my way back to Thebe.
Oh, absolutely. And again, I will definitely bring word of your accomplishments to Peter, and let him know that and definitely be glad to convey any other messages that you have for him as well. I'm sure he's interested in things that are developing now, like this. I heard there's just like some sort of treasure to be uncovered.
Well, I mean, maybe it depends. I mean, is there any monetary value to it? Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
I understand.
Is that why you're here?
We're kind of keeping tabs on things, which is, yes. But since we heard that you're involved, I mean, we can definitely, take a back seat to this. You're one of the best. So why would we need to get involved?
Exactly what I was thinking. Yep. All right. Well, your friend here, you may want to, stay with him and make sure you stay in the city, because the surface is not real hospitable to that kind.
Yeah. He wanted to come here and see this. I'm getting him back on the ship. We're probably leaving in the morning, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Well, tell you what. Tell Peter we'll be in touch, and we will definitely reach out to you. If we come up with anything that we think we need to pull some extra hands in on.
Excellent. All right. And about that time, like Teledrift and Chieftain Gawks is finished with their conversation. They've gone away from like their alcove, and like Teledrift's approaching you again, just like because he's always never far from you. And as you see him approaching, like Die, shakes your hand, like time for me to go, kind of a deal, and like pulls you in and whispers and like eye motions towards Tildriff and says, "Don't trust him," and leaves.
I'll just pretend like I didn't hear and
exactly.
Do they
Awkward.
have any idea what adventuring group they're talking to?
Nobody trusts anybody. It's like Deep Space Nine. It's totally Deep Space Nine. Exactly. Trust you as far as I can throw you out the airlock. That's exactly. That's how far I trust you.
Exactly.
So, it's kind of like getting towards the climax of the dinner. Your king's made his announcement and stuff like that, and everybody's been making some small talk and drinking. And of course, you've seen the king's been drinking heavily as he is wont to do. And he's like, he gets up and he says, he gets up from his throne and he tinks on his glass really loudly with like his knife and breaks the glass. He's like, oh well, and he just tosses it on the floor, kind of thing. He goes, that's get someone to take care of this. And he goes, to celebrate this occasion, I'm thinking of creating a new sport. Yes, it's a new sport I just thought up. And he's like stumbling a little bit. He goes, I call it hurricane boxing. Hurricane boxing. That's what it is. He says, you just need a couple things. First, you need a giant floating palace suspended on massive anti-gravity machines. Luckily, I have one of those. We're in it. He says
I leave the chair on that one.
He says second, you fly into a hurricane, which my technicians have told me there's one in the area. And then this is the clever bit. You go out on the forward top deck and you have a boxing match. The first one to fall loses. Who's going to join me in this hurricane boxing? Yeah, and it's just that awkward. Like everybody's like, "What?"
I have a question. Am I hearing this correctly? He wants to box someone up there
on like a elevated platform in a hurricane. The first one to fall off loses.
Well, I
we'll have grab belts. We got grab belts. We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Oh no! I prod cat killer. I take the pickle fork and shove it where the sun don't shine.
Did you bring cat killer?
I have no idea.
I mean, he's part of the crew. I mean, did you actually like jab him? And he's like, oh.
If he's there, I did.
He's like, oh, what did you do that for, boss? He goes, ah. He goes, I see we've got a contestant, a rather worthy contestant. Wow, he's massive.
I whisper at cat killer, don't let me down.
he's like, you're a mean man, boss. You're horrible. You're a horrible person. He's like, I can't believe I'm going to fight this dude.
I'm gonna raise my hand. I'm gonna say, your Majesty.
Ooh, that hurt. That hurt. That hurt. Yes. Yes.
So, say you fall off.
Of course, it could happen.
So, let me just ask: are your wings involved in this boxing match?
No. The wings would be like a sail in a hurricane like this. We're just wearing our grab belts.
Just the grab belts.
Mm.
And the winner, should it not be you, an odd chance, would not be charged with treason. Fair,
Well-
clean cut fight.
Yes, of course. I mean, it's not like anyone's going to, die. We've got grab belts. We'll be fine.
There's this twinkle in Hodgkin's eye. You just see it.
Gawks, you see Chieftain Gawks looking at you like. Now's not the time. Now's totally not the time.
I'm rolling gambling. I'll put it in the chat.
He's like, do you surely a frail young lady like yourself didn't think you could succeed where this large specimen of manhood here I see before me? I mean, remember Cat Killer Steve's like Michael Clark Duncan in the vac suit. Stuffed into a vac suit. Surely you don't think you can succeed where this large man here has a chance to beat me.
Well, I mean, if you're really scared of me beating you, then sure, you can fight Cat Killer.
I'm scared. I'm going full Brian Blessed, but I'm trying not to be too loud. I scared, and like several of the courtiers like, whoa. you hear the lady. What was her name again? Lady
Hill.
Lady Hill. Like, yeah, she's in the back going, ooh.
I know you've been on. No, with all due respect, I know you've been on Drinax, so you may not have heard, but I am the queen of the blood pit.
Oh yes, I've heard about that little squaffle you had there. You garnered some respect in combat. You know what? I accept your challenge. Of course, I'm sorry, Cat Killer. Perhaps the next time when we have another hurricane, we can do another bout of hurricane boxing. But Captain Hashna here seems to be determined that she can best the crown. And yes.
Hey, Cat Killer. Cat Killer. Bet your wages on Hoshna.
He says, "Oh,
we're gonna drink till we're stupid."
He's like, that goes without saying, boss. It's already done. Lady.
Captain, do you have your last will and testament ready? I want to make sure that everything's in line in case anything happens.
Like he does have experience in advocate. He has spent time as a lawyer. You did your understudy. You did a little pre-law.
No worries. We're incorporated, so if something happens to me, the ship's fine.
He says,
besides, nobody's gonna die, right, Your Majesty?
No. He says, as a matter of fact, what do you wager on this battle?
What do we wager?
Boy.
You know what? Let me think about that. Give me, I don't know, 5 minutes to get ready, and we'll meet you up top. And we'll
of course, it's going to take that. It's going to take about that long to pilot the floating city out that way. So yeah, while you're thinking of that and getting your tactics together, I'm going to go off camera for everybody. If anybody else wants to take a 5-minute break, let's do that.
Jawohl.
Cool.
Are we back?
Close.
So what are you thinking of wagering there, Hashna?
I was actually going to throw out the treasure percentage of the treasure.
Interesting. Okay. Did I give you a credit value of the treasure?
You did not. I have no idea what it is.
Got it. I know you got like a bunch of gems that were easily transportable. It was basically just what you can like grab quick because you had to throw it on the launch, correct? Which didn't have like a massive cargo hold. It wasn't like what you had planned, where you wanted to link up the cargo hauler and throw a lot of stuff in there. But you did get a hold of like some prize items,
because Alacrity used his evaluation to make sure that we were grabbing the more
the high end stuff.
The high end stuff, yeah. The resale value.
Exactly. Did you guys write down what I told you guys got? Do you remember what it was?
Years ago.
Yeah, way back when.
Yeah.
I've got it here. I've got
inside the vault, crates with barcodes, mail drums between Imperium and a reel with secure information, a half a ton of luxury items, about 200,000 credits worth, a ton of pharmaceuticals, about 300,000 credits worth, advance. I've got advanced man equipment. Look. I don't think.
Yeah.
100K. Sorry, 100,000. 1 million worth of relics and an ancient sword.
Yeah, there was an ancient sword in there for sure. You guys got a hold of some gemstones and other rare items worth about 30 million credits. About 20 tons of pharmaceuticals, which was worth about 100,000 each per ton. Yeah. So you got altogether about 50 million in goods, and then the sword, and then of course the Treaty of Fist, which is priceless for want of a better term. Have you even told King Olive about the treaty? I mean, that could be a big thing.
Well, I was going to wait until after the party.
He doesn't know about it yet.
Because the original treaty, I'm not sure. I can't remember how you guys altered it. Because again, it had been some time ago. I should have wrote
Basically,
notes.
we screwed both sides, but Drinax was a preferred trade partner, and trade would be
with
going
the Imperium
through our space.
Yep. Got it. Because the original treaty,
so we're going to make money just on tariffs alone.
Yeah. Because the original treaty looked like it had already been altered to allow the Imperium to have the Aslan encroach more into the Trojan Reach, if I'm not mistaken. Like
Correct.
they could get in like another 6 parsecs, which makes them real close to Drinax.
Yeah, we nixed that right in the kitty patootie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It was basically the way the treaty was written was meant to really favor Jadeko, which again is like the Walmart of Traveler. Or the Amazon. I guess more is Amazon, the Amazon of Traveler. They make all kinds of they ship and transfer all kinds of items. They're the shippers and movers in this area, and it was really going to screw up a lot of trade in the region. As the Aslan said, oh well, we can encroach more into the Trojan Reach and not be challenged, and then all the trade routes would be like, whoa, wait, where's our protection? Kind of a deal. And Jadeko could kind of move in and offer, different trade routes at substantially increased costs and blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
so basically,
we screwed them.
Yeah, you basically just nixed all that out. Yeah. So yeah, you probably haven't even told him about that yet. You're probably keeping that in your. That's a big hip pocket item. That's a
Yep.
huge hip pocket item. Yeah. Because basically, yeah, you're allowing the Treaty of Fist instead of allowing the Aslan to encroach more. You were actually setting that up to be more trade routes going through the Drinax sector, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and setting up provisions for more imperial control, which makes both of your parties happy. Like Thal Pollock and King Olaf will be like, hey, you know.
And it will get more ground pounders jobs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we need basically they would be starting up warehousing and shipping factories. You would basically be making what's the guys in the yellow trucks the rival. Yeah. You'd be making like that group to rival Jdeco.
You know what DHL stands for, right?
Huh?
You know what DHL stands for, right?
No.
Dewey, Huey, and Louie.
Hey, I gotta give them credit, man. Dewey, Huey, and Louie got stuff done. I mean,
no, I'm not. I ain't gonna say where this person was in the chain of Dewey, Huey, and Louie, but he told me as a loyal employee what it stood for.
That's wonderful. I do dig that. Yeah, Dewey, Huey, and Louie. Wow. Kind of like Man Emo and Mike, but yeah. So anyway, yeah. So you guys got about 50 million credits in items that you guys gathered, which again was a fraction of what you intended to haul, but it was still a big haul. But again, it's nothing compared to the treaty that you guys have.
Hey, Matthew.
Yeah.
I can't remember. So we got the ancient sword, but I don't remember anything about the ancient sword. Can you review?
I mean, it's a sword that's old, and it goes back to somebody's prehistory timeline that wasn't written. So I don't have it. To be continued. If you want to research that later in another adventure, I'll be glad to do that for you.
Is it usable?
Yeah, it's completely usable. It's completely functional.
Okay, because like I had to borrow Sir Lacrity's weapon last time, although this is boxing.
Oh, you're going to use that sword? Oh, well, that would be.
Well, if it's boxing, we're not using weapons.
Yeah, you're not using weapons. It's boxing.
Yeah.
And by the way, you did not borrow my sword. You inflicted justice upon those who needed it.
So basically, you would out of this 50 million, like you would get under the standard contract of the letter of marque, like you would get half, and Drinax would get half. Which 25 million sounds like a lot to you guys, but to keep the ship up and the other two ships up and stuff like that, you're going to burn through it pretty quick. Especially with the upgrades and stuff that you guys have in mind for the ships and stuff like that. I mean, you'd be lush for a while, but I'm saying you'd be lush for like a year instead of like lush for like the rest of your lives on 25 million.
I'm just going to recommend that we move Tony to the Pelican and let him play with those jump drives.
Not so much to Harrier.
Not so much. Not after what just happened.
I mean, I mean, all I can say was it didn't screw up until he wasn't there to do the jump drives. That's all I can say.
Yeah, another reason to move them off ship.
I mean, they were fine whenever he was operating them. They worked just fine.
Yeah, well, I don't need indispensable crew. I need dispensable crew. He can go to the Pelican.
Oh my God. The cargo hauler, nice. The one that drops down.
Yeah,
nice.
It'd be great if you could drop a 6 maneuver drive in a jump of 10 in that.
Yeah, that thing would fly apart.
We'd we'd put FedEx and UPS to shame.
Exactly. The X-Boat service would be like, "Where'd that go?" Who's
By
that?
the way, bitches, I'm on a mail run.
I got things to do. So yeah, if you're keeping the Treaty of Fist in your hip pocket, that's a huge hip pocket item. That changes economies. The treaty does, like global economies. So several global economies.
Why do you think I pushed so hard for it?
Mhm.
Why do you think I was so upset? It was in a cryogenic chamber.
I mean, Alacrity, do you think like on the way up to the roof, like, I mean, what do we want to wager? 75% of the treasure?
What's the value on the sword?
We don't know.
I would say
No, we don't know the history. I'm eyeballing it.
Yeah,
Oh.
eyeballing it. Yeah, make your appraise roll.
Okay, that's 9 plus. Yeah, that's a 9.
Fair enough. At least it wasn't nothing in the skill.
Well, no, that's not true. No, it's actually an 11. It's actually an 11.
Okay. So yeah, if you're going off your education or something like that.
No, at first I looked at my stats, which I have no bonuses that apply.
Yeah.
But I'm going off my streetwise and my blade.
Streetwise will work. Yeah. I mean,
11.
it's kind of like a museum piece. It's hard to put a value on it, but
It's not.
there's ultimately got to be a value. Honestly, again, it's almost like if you sold it at an auction, it'd be like whatever somebody's going to pay for it. You could estimate that it would go for like a cool $1 million, but like if somebody really wanted it and they had an empty, a blank check, God knows what it could bring.
Wager the sword.
All right.
You're gonna win, right, Hashna?
I'm going to win.
Okay.
It'll be okay. I'm a tough cookie. It's all right.
Yeah, well, let's not be
She
a
says,
pastry
looking up
whatsoever.
at you.
All right, so yeah,
Let the city be a hard place and let you be a rock.
That's right. It'll be all right.
fair.
All right. I'll wait till I get out there before I start doing my psionics.
Nice. So you look like you're psyching yourself up. You're actually beefing yourself up psionically. Nice.
Yep.
Nice. All right. So yeah, and this is actually over like a walkway over like the Royal Starport, which you guys actually got to park in at once, and it is like really, really, really nice. And you're like, wow, this is beautiful. I guess it's like the difference between like JFK and LaGuardia, between the regular Starport and the Royal Starport. You're like, wow, this is nice. And you're like you're literally on an elevated platform. It's like literally hurricane force winds, probably 100, 120 miles an hour, whipping around. Everything that could fly off of the starport deck is tied down or taken down, and he's up on the elevated platform. There's no rails. It's like Star Wars. There's no rails. It's about 5 foot wide, easily 100 feet long. Platform. That's about that hangs over nothing. It hangs off the floating city. It's more like an observation sort of a deal to kind of like how some of those skyscrapers have those infinity rooms where you can look down and you can see the city, that glass little booth kind of deal. This is like the platform version of that. So, Good thing there's no like phobias or anything like fear of heights on your traveler sheet or nothing like that. Because yeah, you look down and it's like, you know, you're easily a mile above Drinax. You know?
I'm gonna look at Cat Killer. I'll be like, "You sure you don't want to do this?"
Oh, now that I see it, boss, I'm glad you dig it. I'm really glad. I'm really glad you dig it, boss. I don't like those hats. those,
I don't either.
those give me the heebie-jeebies.
All right, we can do this. We can do this. Keep an eye on
Hey,
her.
Matthew.
She's gonna
Yeah.
freak out.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can grab a grav belt as well.
It's kind of tough, like spur of the moment kind of a deal. I mean,
Well,
the only
you know,
ones that are
little
wearing
locker.
them is like, yeah, no.
Well, are we allowed to wear our grab boots? Because normally, don't we have grab boots?
Yeah, normally you have grab boots on, but you know, you would turn them off in this fight. What's the point?
Yeah.
Would you? Well, there's those lights on that would tell. Those lights.
All
on the
right.
grab boot.
So apparently, I got Justice, voice of the my Verta socks, and a Gauss pistol because if anybody does any weirdness, I'm gonna have to kill them.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't need the grav to get to them. I need to get to kill whoever.
Got it.
So that is how I'm approaching this spectacle. I'm looking
Got
for people to kill because they need killing.
We're doing this in the palace.
Well,
On top of the palace.
and like the starport, the royal starport outside the palace,
Right.
on the floating palace. Yeah.
With local authorities nearby.
The local what?
Authorities nearby.
We are
Yeah,
the
he-
authorities.
He is the authority. He's the king.
Right.
He's
I know.
the king.
And this is a floating city, not just a palace. So it's
A whole
Disney
thing.
Plus.
Yeah, think of like King Voltan and a whole floating city in Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
exactly like that. Exactly like that.
I'm picturing it clearly enough. What I'm questioning is my captain and Mr. Alacrity here and their plans as to what we're doing. That's all I'm questioning.
You're like this.
I'll just blow my mind. So
Yeah, and you're like this.
Technically, the only plan I have is to win a bet. But
That's it.
I have
It's a sure
alternate
thing.
actions that I have close at my fingertips.
got it. Got it. Okay, just checking.
So so I'll psych myself up and
Make those beautiful psychic rolls.
okay, how do I do this? It's been a while since I've had to actually fight.
You pick up 2d6, you roll them, add stuff. Tell me you got rolled high.
9 plus 1 is 10.
10. Okay.
Now, does that include your intelligence? I think this or psi stat, or does
Psi
it?
stat.
That's just my psi stat.
All right. Do you have a skill in whatever you're trying to do?
Yeah. You're.
Yes. Athletics.
What's that? Well, no. Yeah. Well, that. No, but the size skill. What's the size skill? I forget. I might have it in my book too. Got it.
11. That's a +1.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you've got an 11. You basically take the effect of that, which is 3, and add it to what you want, like your strength or your endurance or your dex.
Fuck. I only got 3.
Unfortunately, it's still 3. It's still it could change a lot.
Yeah, but it's not going to be what I'm going to need it to be. It's going to be enhanced strength.
Okay.
Okay. What's your base strength?
An 8. That's
all
why
right.
it's not good.
All right.
Yeah.
So that'll give you a +1.
Yeah.
That's it.
Takes-
But
Takes you up to 11. It's better than what you had.
Yeah.
still not good enough, but that's all right. It'll work. It'll have to work.
Actually,
Let's
You
put it
make-
to you this way, Hashna. If you lose this, we're going to spend some time in the gym.
Well, Killer's fault, man. He's been training me, so.
I mean, yeah, don't blame me, boss. You're the one that wanted to get up on that thing. I ain't trained for getting up on that thing. Remember what I taught you? I taught you just grab them and you squeeze.
Right.
Grab 'em
But I gotta
and
knock
squeeze.
him off. So grab him, squeeze.
That's not what I taught you. You just choke them. You just choke them. You just grab them and squeeze.
Tactical genius. Yeah.
Thank you. It works. It works every time. The eyes bulge out. The face gets all purpley. Works every time.
Just remember, throat, kidney, nads.
Exactly. Honestly, the odds are you just made the odds kind of even because because King Olaf's like a big guy, but he's not that big a guy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I already have, without pumping anything into my endurance, I already have a 14 endurance.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I can.
All right.
Well,
take a
I
hit.
have a question. Can you only pump physical, or can you pump like a skill?
No, just physical stats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, physical stats. What is your brawling, by the way?
Normally a +1.
Melee. Your melee.
Yeah.
Your melee.
Mm-hmm.
Got one in melee. All right,
I got a 1 in the melee.
that works. All right, so
it's
yeah,
like
they picked.
+2 now. With
Correct.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because you're using your strength stat, so you'll roll a 2d6, add 2. I mean, Teledrift, did you want to try to boost her anyway with your mental powers?
Inspire
we lose
me,
Teledrift?
Teledrift.
Did Teledrift come back?
I don't know if he came back.
Maybe he's
Teledrift-
just stuck on mute.
Well, he's showing active. Teledrift's I got that. And it's kind of appropriate because what happened earlier, it just got really weird for him all of a sudden. He just totally dipped after what that die person said. I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with it. You're like, I'm gonna go with it. You're like, you're looking for Teledrift for like your boost, because he's been like your booster for a lot of this, and you turned around, and you're like,
Did he
Where'd
just
he go?
message?
No,
Where'd he
I
go?
just messaged. I was like, "Where are you?"
Exactly. We need you, Teledrift.
Right.
But anyway, yeah,
Right.
he's not here, which is weird, and totally weird after what Di said.
Okay.
So yeah, you're getting. He's up there on the platform. He's like, come on. What do you challenge? He's like, he's getting all his moves up. He's like, doing his thing.
Tell you what, if I win, you give me the sword.
What sword?
We haven't given it to him yet for him to give it to you.
Oh, sorry. All right. Well then, yeah. Let me retcon that. I get my pick of the treasure.
Ah. Okay. That's fair. Is there something you have your eye on, or are we going to discuss that after you lose?
I've got some thoughts. Yeah.
Very well then. I mean, I understand you did get a large amount of gems. If you want to get like, bling up your back suit or something like that. I see that.
Zircon encrusted back suit.
You know me so well. So well. I am all about the bling.
I'm gonna bedazzle your back suit.
I'm gonna bedazzle
with
that shit out.
with actual gems. Nice. All right, so let's get it on.
All right.
Roll your 2d6 and add your dex stat. Dex bonus for initiative.
Well, dex or intelligence.
10.
Dex. Well, intelligence. If you're thinking about something, they're doing.
Actually, there's a lot of mental in boxing.
Yeah, but you still got to do it. You can think what you want, but you still got to make your body do it.
Well,
I'm thinking
okay, so
more like
so
trying
here-
to program something or
Let
psionic
me-
something. With
I was gonna say
intelligence.
we haven't used the psionics a whole lot. Like I have all
Yeah.
of these sub things under psionics besides
Yeah.
enhanced strength, and one of those is inspiration.
Yeah.
So it can lead to a flash of inspiration, dexterous fine tuning, and momentarily toughened physique. It adds a boon to any one check the traveler attempts in the next minute. So can I
So you
use
basically roll twice.
inspiration to like take? Okay. Well, I was gonna. You tell me when I have to roll. I want to take a scan of how he's standing to see if he's like got a weak spot to go for.
Yeah, and that would have translated
Like
into
how
a
he's holding himself.
boon on your attack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you would add your intelligence bonus to this as you're trying to get a read of them. Yeah, you're right. You're right because you're using your
Okay.
psi. You're not just going right in and just blah. You're sizing up the situation. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, roll me your psi again.
Okay.
2d6 plus your psi plus your skill.
That's a 9.
That's fine. All I need is an 8 for that to work.
In that case.
So yeah, you're looking at him, and he's all about like protecting his face, not so much his gut. You're like and he's kind of he's a big guy. He's kind of soft in his belly, so you're thinking a couple good shots in his belly would definitely turn things around in your favor. And
Okay.
so yeah, you're reading that.
Got it.
He fights like a big guy. He puts his hands up here, and not so much like protecting both ends. Yeah. All right. So yeah, go ahead and do. So what'd you roll in your initiative?
What did I say? Did I say 10?
10. Yeah. So that allows you to do that first.
Let me go ahead and write that down so I don't forget it again.
Yeah. So that allows you to do that first, which means you don't really get to throw anything this first round. You're basically just kind of staying back and reading him, kind of a deal.
Mhm.
While he rolled a 6 on his initiative, so he's going to go after you've got that read kind of thing, and he's just like and just rolling in for like a big punch. What's your dex modifier?
Right now it's 0.
0. All right. So he hit
Mhm.
you.
I am
hard.
not dexterous.
He hits you. And basically we're just throwing like 1d for the damage plus your effect, however much you hit him by. With these kind of gloves, he hits you for about 5 points of damage.
So does my enhanced endurance soak any of that?
Yeah. Did you enhance your endurance? I thought you just did your strength.
I wanted to do well, I only had 3, so yeah, I'll just do the strength.
So it goes into your strength. So take 5 from your endurance. Like he hit you and it was like a brick hitting you. Like this guy knows how to hit.
All right, so I subtract 5
So
from
it's
my
like-
endurance.
Yeah. And the first one to lose their endurance is false, basically.
Okay.
You don't die. You just
Got it.
fall.
All right.
Don't
Okay.
die.
All right.
All
All right, I'm going in.
right. So yeah, now it's your attack. And you got a boon, so you roll twice, pick the better.
All right, so as he hits me,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna soak that, and then I'm gonna use that close contact to go straight for like a kidney punch,
Mm-hmm.
since he's real close.
Nice.
If you pull it off, I will be proud of my captain.
All right, so the first one was a 12, so let me roll the second
Right.
time.
That's massive.
6. That's gonna be a 12 and a 10, so I'll take the 12.
Yeah. Is that with your brawling and the strength adjustment?
That is with the rolling and the strength adjustment.
All right, so that's 4 more than what you need. So roll a d6 and add the 4 to it.
5. I rolled a 1.
Okay, so you both landed really good blows. Like he cracked you in the jaw, and you hit him with a kidney punch, and he's like, ugh, ugh. He's kind of like straightening his back, like holding his back like that, as he's kind of, breaking away from you a little bit. Like you hit him hard,
I'm gonna kind of wipe the blood away from my lip. And I'm gonna wink at him.
Go full Bruce Lee moment on him. Nice.
Yeah, I am.
Nice. Fair. Okay. So he's kind of, when you hit him with that kidney punch, he's like, he's envisioning himself peeing blood the next couple days. But so he goes like a backhand swipe like that, like a, bitch please. Kind of a deal.
Go low because I'm sure he's got to go
low. Exactly. And you completely duck it. Like he misses wildly. Yeah. He did not connect at all. You completely duck under it. So you are still throwing boons. So you still roll 2d6. Twice. Pick the better of the two.
When I duck, I'm going to duck and I'm going to stay low and I'm going to go right for his knees.
Okay. All right.
That's 8 plus 2 is 10. And then 2 10s. So that's a 10 and a 10.
10 and a 10. So it's 2 more than what you needed. So roll another d6 and add that 2 to it for your damage.
That is 7.
7. And you already did 5 to him before?
I did.
So, and again, this is why Traveler is like so brutal. Couple hits. Now we can illustrate the fight. There was a lot more, fients and thrusts and stuff like that was going on. But this was like the climax of the action right here was like that big crack to the jaw. You hit him with that rabbit punch and he's going away and stuff like that kind of deal. And yeah, you come up with like uppercut from like the fist of heaven, reaches down from down below, like the uppercut from like you have to it's like Mike Tyson's punch out. That's what I'm thinking. Where you're like, that kind of a deal. But yeah, you just connect just perfectly and just lay his ass right out. And you lift him off the ground, like his feet comes off the ground, and he falls onto the edge of the platform, and he's rolling to get back up on his feet, and he rolls the wrong way, rolls off the platform. He's so out of it, like.
How? No, I'm retconning that. As he's getting up, she strides forward and kicks him off the platform, yelling, "I am Hasha!"
That's more like it. That's more like it.
You cannot take this as Sparta-Mama out of this.
She would just like, I'm the queen, bitch. Just...
you bring him up for that kind of a face-to-face moment and stuff like that. He looks at you and goes, "I know your face," and you just kick him just as you're kicking him off. Like he has like an instant, like he's stunned, starred from like the birdies are swirling around from that hit. But like when you bring him up close, like he gets like an instant reckoning. Like he's never paid much attention to you before, but now that he sees you and sees your eyes, he's like, "I know your face." Just complete stunned moment as he goes off as you kick him off the platform. And of course, the Star Guard, they just jump right up. The Hawk Guard, they fly up in unison. as like his grab belt is like engaged once he falls off the platform, about 5 feet off the platform. He does like a free fall and then kind of a deal. And of course, the hot guard gonna grab him and bring him back down to the ground safely and stuff like that. And they're all like, "Are you all right, sire? You all right?" And he's like, "Yeah," he's pulling out like a loose tooth and throwing it across the deck, kind of a deal. He's like, he's got like a whole new like reverence for you, and you don't think it was just the fight. He's like really, really weird around you now. He's like,
well, I just kicked his ass.
Well,
I mean,
again, there's that. There is that. Like you just got his ass handed to him by like what? You're like what? 5'5", 120.
Yeah, like 5'2". Like I'm, yeah.
5'2", 108.
Yeah.
5'2", 108 maybe. Yeah. So, yeah, there's that. Because he is an accomplished fighter. He knows what he's doing. Like that first hit. Oh, mammy. You're like, I've never been hit that hard my entire life. That blood pit was nothing compared to the hit that you got from him. Like he shook a couple of your teeth loose, with that hit. And he's like, well,
I'll walk up and I'll be like,
well won, Captain Hashna.
Good match.
So what? You shake hands, and he's like looks at your hand, and he looks at your hand, and he looks at you, and he goes, "I know you."
They call me the queen of the blood pit.
And he's just shaking it. He's just shaking it off. He's like, "Yeah." What was your wager? What prize did you wish to claim?
There's a sword.
What day is today?
Yeah. Where are we? Are we out of the hurricane? Did we get out of the hurricane? We're out of the hurricane now, right?
Let's get out of the hurricane. Let's go get cleaned up. Let's get a drink. There's a sword in there.
Yeah, there's a sword in there. So, Sir Lackerty, are you meeting them back in the throne room with the sword, I guess?
Oh, of course.
Got it. Professor Davian, when he's like waiting in the throne room with the sword, I need you to have me like your sciences. Throw me your science roll. I don't know if you have anything in history, but you can at least do your. You do? So yeah, do me your history roll. Yep. Actually, throw it with a boon. Throw it twice and get better because you're going to really know this sword. You should know this sword.
All right. Ooh, 11 is the best roll.
11's good. All right, 11 is great. So, like, you latch onto this sword immediately. Like, this sword. This sword once belonged to the Duke of Deneb, who is like, where you hail from. That's your region. You're actually named after that Duke, Hans Davian.
Yeah.
You're named after him. You're looking at him and you're like, that looks like that was his sword. And this guy was like, 800 years ago, he was he was big news. That was his.
I come up and kind of tap Alacrity on the shoulder. Proceedings begin, and they're like, "Where did you get that?"
Flea market.
Antique Roadshow.
Again?
I'm sorry. I didn't know you had a hearing problem. I said flea market.
A rare artifact like that, it doesn't just sit at a flea market.
You'd be surprised how many people in the cosmos don't realize what they have.
Okay. And what are we doing with this today?
Well, Hashna has won it from the king.
This is the sort of thing that might even belong in a museum. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, you're completely reading it right. I mean, this is the sword of the Duke of Deneb. Like, this sword goes past Hans Davian. This is like, his great grandfather's sword. That kind of a deal.
I would like to say that sword. I've never met anybody named Museum, and swords belong in people.
Cat Killer Steve taught me that one.
A museum is a place that you go and you store important historical things. That's where this belongs, not in somebody.
Who has this sword killed?
Can I list a few names?
Oh yeah, you can come up with our, this Zodani, that Varger, help stave off the invasion of 1206, that kind of a thing. Was involved in in putting down several of the Ingavar uprisings. Yeah, he can list off a litany of things. And actually, Hot Bazoni is kind of coming along with you, and he's like, "Where did they get that?"
That's
market.
what
You
I'm
know
gonna
what?
find out.
He's looking at you. He's like, "You know what? Do you know whose sword that is, right?"
Yeah. Yes,
It's
I do.
Ashna's. Duh.
Duh.
Hashna got it in one.
1 round. Ding ding.
Bing.
So yeah, like and Hot Bazoni's like taking you aside. He's like, perhaps we really shouldn't make this a thing now. It's apparently going to go to the captain. We're going to be working with the captain. Maybe we could talk with him later. I mean, to her, it's just a sword. They have no idea the history behind this thing.
I'm aware of that. I've surmised it.
Yeah, so but perhaps now is not the time to discuss that. Perhaps we have time alone with the captain and away from that person. Points towards Sir Alacrity. Yes.
Yeah.
I assume I'm out of hearing.
You're out of earshot. Yeah, he kind of pulls you to his side. I said, I said as he pulls you aside, perhaps we could talk to Captain Hashna later. I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's going to be with that.
I mean, I hate dueling with scholars. It's the scholars because it's so tedious.
Again, it's that tedious. Again, it's that whole intangible thing. If you can't, you can't buy it, eat it, have sex with it, what does it matter to you?
Or kill with it. Don't
Or
forget,
kill with it.
or kill with
Yeah,
it.
no, yeah.
Kill
Or
with
kill with it. What does it matter? Exactly. The whole intangible thing tends to escape the vagaries of Sir Alacrity, and he's a simple man with simple needs. People need killing. Yeah. People need
simple
killing.
murders. Yeah. Okay.
No. I am not about murder or anything like that. I am
They
about acquiring what is mine.
Can we have a better definition of what's yours? Is that possible?
It's like that Viking philosophy. You've got what I want, and I'm going to kill you to take it. You know the Vikings. You heard of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen Drinax. Like, there's a little bit of inequality going on around here.
Yeah, where lords fight captains, and captains win. And no, I know.
That's a king. Difference in the hierarchy.
King.
Yeah. You just got a taste of like frontier life. Yeah. You're like, wow, these people are absolute savages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, River Tam, do you think you and your sister will survive?
Yeah, right.
Nice.
That is exactly
what it is. Pretty close. He's literally like at that part of the map where here there be dragons, and he's like, holy shit, there are dragons.
Yeah. Let's find some old historical documents we can use them as toilet paper while we're at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, no, we're good.
We're totally good. So you he comes in, and the King Olab comes up, into the throne room, A little later, still shaking a couple of the teeth. He's like, "Is that one? That one's right. That's okay." And
Hey, I didn't mean to rough you up too bad. No hard feelings.
no,
right?
no. You did a good job. You obviously earned your right as captain of the Dragnar. I apparently I have chosen wisely again. As he looks around the court, and all the court's like, yes, my lord. All the carriers on and stuff like that. So he's like, well, one, what is it did you want from the treasure that you had gotten from the Martin II?
There's a sword.
A sword? You just want a sword? I could give you a sword.
No, this is a little. It looks special. It calls to me. I think, yeah, I'll take the sword. Besides, I think you probably want to get through this because my crew and I, or at least Sir Alacrity and I, would like to have a conversation with you in private.
Ah, very well. He says, well, show me this sword. Let's see what this prize that you won.
All right, so let's go.
I of course pull out the sword. It's in a scabbard. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's in a beautiful scabbard. Yeah,
and I have hold of the scabbard and I prompt you with the handle, the hilt, as you will.
And it's like it's like a broadsword, like in every sense of the term with a broadsword, like it's almost as tall as you. That kind of a deal. Like the blade is like 5 inches wide. It's one of those really clunky, almost.
Blade is wider than my arm.
Exactly. It's almost like one of those clunky, like almost anime style swords where it's like almost ridiculously big. That kind of a deal. And it probably weighs a good 12 pounds. Which is immense for a sword. It's heavier than it should be at that size.
Most two-handed swords, as in like the 6-footers, don't weigh 12 pounds.
Exactly. There's somewhere between 7 and 8, I think. Yeah. So it may be the weight of the gold on it. It may be the metal that it's made out of, but it's heavy. Like when Sir Alacrity hands it to you, you're like, whoa, because you just came off of that. You just came off of that that ESP rush that you got.
Came down.
Yeah, he came down. And he's like, let's have a look at this sword. He holds it out. He holds his hand out to you to look at the sword.
All right, so I'll be like.
He looks at it. He goes, "Oh, this is a fine blade indeed. This is a blade of a noble. Obviously, he has no clue who it belongs to. It's completely past him." And Professor, do you just kind of do you want to do that kind of a thing?
No. I'm not. I'm gonna see what our.
You actually see Hot Bazoni kind of like raise his hand up like that, and you're like, no.
Stop.
But Alacrity opens his mouth.
Oh, of course.
And goes, yes. And as one of your ennobled knights and everything, I am following Captain Hashna of great ability and so forth. She has tripled the size of your fleet. She has brought you wealth. And I think at this point I'm going to lay on him the treaty since we're in private.
Oh, we're not in private yet. We're still he just presented a sword in the throne room.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, roll.
And I won't say a word until we're in private.
Roll that back. But yeah, he's like, I'm impressed with this sword. It's an impressive blade indeed. It's definitely worthy of the captain of one of my fleet. Yes, yeah. And you see like Thal Palak, the Imperial ambassador, like he locks eyes on it. He's like, he immediately knows what it is. He's like, my lord, maybe we should just, no, don't be silly. This was a bargain was struck and a bargain earned. This is the sword of Captain Hoshna. And Valpolic's like, but that's his. He said, I don't care. It doesn't matter now. It's whoever it belonged to before. It is now the sword of Captain Hoshna.
I drill him with my look and say, "The king has spoken."
That was like, like the Imperial ambassador. The Imperial ambassador. He's like, I need a drink. He goes and gets a drink, like several drinks. And so the party is winding down. Do you guys want to take him to the king all up to a small antechamber?
Yeah.
Of course, he's going to have his guard with him.
That's fine.
And so you have he's like, well, what does you want? Is there something else you want to bargain for? Is that I'm afraid I'm not ready for another battle right this moment. But
No, there were some things that need to be said in private.
Oh,
yes.
Very well.
And we were thinking about keeping all the credits worth of treasure, actually, because we got you something better.
I mean, 50 million is a fair sum. I admit. If you wanted to take the lion's share of it, I perhaps could see my way of that. In light of other pursuits that you will be doing. I
think we're going to take it all because we really got to push at this
point.
Hold on, my king. So much is about to be laid at your feet.
I'm all ears.
And at that point, I turned to Hoshna to get her approval.
Go ahead.
And now, quietly, so the guards that are, within eyesight but not earshot can't hear it.
Yeah.
We lay out the treaty.
Oh.
And how it works now because we fixed it.
Ah. His eyes
and
widen.
Even his low intellect can do the math.
His eyes widen. He goes, this is very impressive. Done. 50 million for this is a fair price indeed. Of course, I'll have to consult Princess Rowell on this. She handles a lot of these more economic sort of affairs of state.
Why don't you call her in here?
And she's she comes in. He calls her on his comm and stuff like that, and she chimes in like about a minute or two later, and she looks over the same treaty. She's like, was this like this when you came across it?
No, we fixed it.
It had been tampered
with.
It
had already been tampered with. How so?
Let's just say the Aslans wanted to make a return.
Oh, well, we can't have any of that.
And so did Con Dev, whatever the heck its name is.
Jenico.
The owners of Generic.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a restaurant.
Yeah.
And air. Ick.
Nice. So she's like, so this was already tampered with to make look legal, and you further tampered with it to make it still legal and binding. Because I see all the different codes and seals and stuff are still intact. This is correct. This is really, really impressive. The problem is it was on the treasure ship, and it's now no longer on the treasure ship.
Well, and just because it's been a while since we played.
Yeah.
Didn't the treasure ship get attacked?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was wrecked. Like REKD wrecked.
This was saved from an attack.
Oh.
We would have this would have been floating in the middle of space had we not grabbed it,
Okay.
along with everything else.
And this is
Now,
the part.
I just want to clarify, because didn't we make a copy so that we could show Olev, and then we actually left it where the Imperials will find it?
No,
Okay.
you took it.
It's been a
You
while.
didn't have time. You were thinking about
I mean,
doing
it's
that?
been 6 months, Matthew. I can only remember so much.
I
I know
mean-
plans were thrown out there.
Even if we go back and go back through the videos to see that, I'm gonna retcon that you guys did not have time for that, because I really don't think you did. That was a plan, but you weren't able to get that off. Show me your butt, cat.
All right.
But so yeah. But this is a time where I would speak up for Tony Netta, for Rick's character, and he's like, yes, he's like, as one of the chief engineers on the Martin II, I can vouchsafe that the recovery of this item still as a serving member of the Martin II. He says, I was offered the commission of commander on the ship. He says, I could definitely speak up for its authenticity, that we had we were rescued by you all, and I was able to secure the treaty before it was lost in space. So I got to speak up for Tony, Rick somehow. But Princess Rowell's like, yeah, the authority of an Imperial commander could go a long way towards legitimizing this. She says, I'm going to book you passage on the next expo to the Imperium with this scroll to get this done. So,
Can you just help me understand the 2-minute context of what this agreement that they've written up would mean for the Imperium?
It would very, very significantly shift the balance of trade and stuff in the Imperium with Drinax. Not so much like but there is another trade route like Galactic North or Spinward of Drinax called the Florian trade route, which is actually the major trade route in this section.
Yeah.
The actual treaty as it was originally written, originally altered, was going to allow the Aslan to encroach on that Florian trade route anyhow, and allow Jericho to establish another trade route somewhere else. Well, the way they've altered it again is to ignore the Aslan encroachment into the sector and actually make it kind of reverse it, brought the Imperium in closer to the reach through Drinax.
Wow.
So it's basically going to make like a rival trade route through Drinaxian sector. We're basically redrawing trade routes on the galactic map with this treaty. Yeah, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. Fortunes of entire planets are going to change when this thing is legitimized.
Got it.
Yeah, and now this could be tens, if not hundreds of years down the line before this ever actually becomes a thing. But it's going to kick it into play. Yeah. And people are going to be like courting Drinax now to get the contracts to do the things that you guys probably will never live to see. But yeah, you guys, like Drinax is going to be sitting pretty on this, as soon as it is legitimized. So yeah, that's basically how that goes.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's really well done. And Princess Rowell just looks at you all again and again, cannot look Captain Hoshna in the eye. Yeah, you get this really weird vibe between Captain Hoshna and Princess Rowell. You saw it at the reception.
Yeah.
And you're seeing it again where like she is really, really weirded out by Captain Hoshna. But she's like literally staring at the table. She's like, "Thank you, Captain Hoshna, for allowing this fall into our hands and be able to get this done. And we will we definitely will take full advantage of this. Thank you very much. I see your star on the rise here in the court of Drinax. Perhaps the title of Sir is not enough for the noble Captain Hashna. Perhaps Baroness might be a better term for Captain Hashna in the future. And at that point, King Olub's like Baroness of Drinax. That could be arranged. Not at this time, of course. We've got a lot going on, but I'm sure we could put something like that in motion for Captain Hashna. So yeah, now we're talking about like, yeah, making you like a baroness of like a certain section of Drinax, like a certain area of Drinax is going to be yours. You're not just a knight now. You are like landed nobility, or going to be. You know, you're like, yee, great. Well, I always wanted to put my thumb on my own people.
I was like, yeah. My caution is just like. Right.
Let me just do that. To my own people, even. Yay. You know, but maybe you could use it to instigate some real change. Who knows? You know.
Well, I have to have a court, and courts have influence, so it's a slow game. It's a long game.
Yeah, long game. We're definitely talking long game. Like, you know, not like the treaty's definitely a long game. This is not near that long a game. But yeah, it's still a long game. So yeah, he's like, well, it's been a full day. We got a opening ceremony at the Scholars Tower. I like for us all to get a fair amount of rest, and we'll see you all in the morning. You know, their equivalent of 8 a.m. You know, so yeah. So yeah, you know, it is late. It's like probably approaching like midnight already. So yeah, it's, you know, time to get some rest and stuff like that. I did have another sort of encounter planned on this, but since Teldrift's not here, I'm going to sideline that. That will come at another time. But yeah, so we're going to skip right through. Like, everybody's got a nice rest that evening, and we are meeting again on a bright, beautiful day overlooking the ruined wasteland of Drinax. I mean, literally, it's like looking at the United States of America, a la Fallout. Chris, I mean, you're not too far off. I mean, there's like completely devastated areas, and there's like these little pockets and like valleys and stuff like that where you see some actual vegetation and some sort of habitable sort of, you know, environment. And you know, Captain Hodge is like, yeah, that's where my people are living, like trying to eke out an existence in these little valleys and and places that are still habitable. You know, yeah, but like everything else looks like, you know, 50 megaton nuclear bombs have just gone off all around it. I don't know if they told you during my technical difficulties, but basically, like the Aslan 200 years ago in the battle here, basically just laid waste to it, and they left the floating city intact to like this is we're leaving you alone to just see this for eternity.
Yeah. Right.
That's how like twisted these Aslan can be. You know, it's like we're good. We're good. Yeah. You know.
Hush's not a fan.
Hush is not a fan. Not a fan. And again, this is like 200 years ago. There's like, you know, there's like Aslan that work in the Imperium and work in the Trojan Reach that had nothing to do with that battle. And Hashna's like, fucking die. So yeah, a little racist, but that's, you know, it's not that long ago in her family, and she lives in it every day. She lived in it every day. So yeah, basically, yeah, you feel like grew up in like a, you know, Warsaw ghetto that somebody else left behind. You're still mad at the people who left it behind. You know. So yeah, you know, it's fair. So yeah,
I want to get up a little bit early and see if I can get a minute with Princess Rowell.
Okay.
Like,
All right. Yeah. If you ask for her, stuff like that. Yeah, she's having like an early morning workout session.
yeah, so I'll walk in, and I don't mean to offend Princess Rowell, but I've noticed you're
Oh,
quite
wait a minute.
uncomfortable.
Before you meet her, like you're going in the room, like what she says is her workout room, and it's like almost like a dance studio kind of stuff like that with mirrors and rails on the ceiling and stuff like that. And she's in like workout sort of attire, and she's just like wiping the sweat on her head where she was doing some sort of aerobics or athletics or something like that. But also leaving the room are two gentlemen that you assume is her trainers. Make me. Do you have like investigate or this wouldn't be recon? Recon's noticing. This is more investigate.
I don't have investigate, so that's what, -2?
-3. You roll your
-3.
intelligence bonus -3.
Do you have Jack of all trades?
She doesn't.
No.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 5 total.
5. So these guys are dressed a little differently than you normally see the people in Drinax. I mean, the people here are dressed to the nines always, because they're nobility and blah, 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 blah. These guys are also wearing, like decent clothes, but not that decent, but they're also wearing like like some sort of like wrapped headgear. In our terms, here on Earth, they look sort of like a turban, but they're like a wrapped headgear sort of a thing. And they're not like looking you in the eye at all as they're walking out of the room. They're like, please don't see us, please don't see us, please don't see us. That kind of a thing as they're walking out of the room.
I'll just say good morning as I pass by them.
They're like, they're not even acknowledging you as they walk out of the room. And you're like, well, rude. But yeah, she's like, and Princess Ra's like, yes, I'm sorry. They were training me in a session.
Ah, that's okay. I guess they don't talk much.
No. Unfortunately.
And I'm not there, right?
No, you're not. You're totally not. I'm really glad that you're not.
You bastard.
Really glad that you're not.
I got the background for this, you bastard.
Really glad you're not. I'm just dropping a seed in for like this is gonna be happen 5 sessions from now. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to chat, just the two of us when no one else is around. I noticed you're really uncomfortable around me, and I'm used to that. I get it. I'm a Vespexer, a little different than you, nobility.
Yeah.
But is there something like that we need to clear up between us? I mean,
did I do something? If you're in an elevator and you thought I farted, it was the other guy.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
We're gonna be working together quite closely. It sounds like going forward.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that
I was afraid that this might come. I had to work with whoever Father picked, and Father picked you and your team, and for the plans. And it's just when I saw you, it just struck me. I couldn't shake it. I got the same feeling. I still get the same feeling. So your eyes, your face isn't the same, and your hair, but your eyes. You remind me of my mother. You have my mother's eyes. Are you related? Were you related, perhaps somehow, to my mother?
Who was your mother?
Queen Elena was my mother.
Have I
You're like,
even heard of that?
There's no way. I was born in a puddle. puddle of semi-radioactive water.
Unless your mother came from the surface of Drinax, I doubt we were related.
She says, "No, see now that is the interesting thing. You know how there are the highborn Drinax and the lowborn Drinax, but they each had their own nobility. Queen Elena was of the lowborn Drinax, to marry with my father, King Olaf, to cement the ties of the Drinaxian people. And I just don't know. You seem and you act completely different from her, but then there's times you're her. I haven't seen her since I was a child.
Did she not pass away? I guess I always assumed that she died.
Yes, she died when I was it couldn't have been more than 5. In an accident and she's having a hard time. She's getting shook up, talking about it. In like an air car accident, the grab vehicles you guys use, going down the city.
Pat her on the shoulder,
and she recoils from your touch, like it wigs her out. She's
sorry,
I'm sorry. It's just I'm sorry. It was you didn't. I know you didn't. It's still weird for me. It's just weird. I can't shake it. It's my problem. It's completely my problem.
Well, listen, I was born on the surface of Drinax, and I've spent my life on the surface of Drinax. So if perchance I am related to your mother, I'm sure it's distantly and just a passing resemblance.
Yeah, because I mean, you look slightly older than Princess Rowell, but like 5 years maybe. Not like not like 15 or 20.
I mean, I'm only 32.
Yeah, she's like she's purported to be 30. She's probably taking some anti-aging drugs to kind of lock her in at 30. To keep her looking 30 for like the rest of her life, but she hasn't started it like very long. She's probably actually closer to, I want to say 50 in actual age, but she looks 30, and she'll tell you that. She's like, she's like, the timelines don't match up. You're barely more than 30. She's like, I'm 50, that sort of thing. Oil, not just oil Olay, but some anagathics is going on here.
Well, I tell you what, if you, I just want things to be okay between us. So no need to be uncomfortable.
I get it. Yeah. Now that we're talked it out and got it out in the open, I am better with it. Yes.
And if you ever want to know, I know a lot of surface dwellers. So if you ever want to meet anybody on the surface, let me know. I could probably arrange something.
I would be interested. You'll get there eventually, right? You'll get there. Just wait. Just wait. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. What's that? Terminal velocity? Is that what we reach? So she's like, yes, I as princess, I do need to cement more relations with and she can't help but say it lowborn. And you're like, really
Let's
wish
work
you
on that. Let's work on that. I tell you what. If you've got some time this afternoon, I've got a good friend. I think you've met him.
Chieftain Galx. Oh yes, yeah,
Chieftain
the chieftain of the surface dwelling Drinaxians. He says is that better? The surface.
There you go. That's
there.
working on it.
See,
little bit at a
we're
time.
a little bit of this, a little bit.
We can sit down with the chieftain, and we can chat. Maybe we can arrange some sort of safe meeting so that you can have an opportunity to see the planet that you're ruling over.
I can only help. I
It
agree.
could, especially if we've got strangers coming in, because
Yes.
the best strategy is to know one's home turf.
Nice. All right. So she takes that in stride. She's like, thank you, Captain Hoshna, or perhaps soon we shall say Baroness. Yes. She says, but yeah, I got to go get cleaned up myself for the thing, for the message globe deal. So yeah, like about another hour has passed, and you had your breakfast and stuff like that, and it is time to get to the scholars' tower. So yeah, there's a few select dignitaries. King Oleb's there, of course, Princess Rowell, Scholar Volha, Dao Paolo, the Imperial ambassador, Hot Bazzoni, of course, he's there, and then the travelers. So you're in a very select shield chamber in the scholars' tower. The chamber incorporates the Scholar Volha says it incorporates tech level 16 anti-bugging technology. So he assures you there's no chance of anyone eavesdropping. Says, but Scholar Volha brings out like a rather large, ornate box carved from like Drinaxian wood that doesn't even exist on Drinax anymore. You're like. You're like, wow, like the last tree. Yeah, but it's an older, it's an old box.
Yeah, like I'll be like Professor Arter's. Like I'll kind of whisper in his ear since he has no clue. I'll be like, that used to be a tree on this planet. It doesn't exist anymore.
There's no more trees like this.
Yeah, add the word species. That used to be a species of tree.
Exactly. It's kind of like you're the Drinaxian teak, I guess you'd want to say. Very ornate, very varnished and stuff like that. But inside he pulls out another message globe, and Scholar Volha says this was sent by a Gani Perez fleet to the ducal seat at Drinax. I assume around the same time that the date stamp on that globe that you have. This globe was opened at some point in the intervening centuries, but all it contained was a string of numbers and letters. Perhaps there's some sort of code to help decipher what's on that other message globe. But yeah, no one can make any sense of what was on that globe. So yeah, with great ceremony, Volha accesses the computer archives, and King Oleb gives his authorization, and it's basically like a DNA code lock. Like somewhere in his DNA structure is all the lines of his ancestors of the Sindalian line, and that's the code. Is like he thumbprints it, and it picks up the DNA from his skin to unlock the globe. So you'd have to be somebody like King Oleb or Princess Rowell to be able to unlock this globe, or Prince Herrick to unlock this globe.
Which part of Prince Herrick is not synthetic, and is it legal to have that on a YouTube video?
Exactly right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, his tongue's wet. You assume it's still human. You don't know. I don't. You get but with So computer systems built during the days of the Sindalian Empire. We're talking like about 2,000 years ago. Flicker into life as Oleb enters all the different codes and stuff like that as well. The message sphere pops open, and Hot Bazzoni examines the contents. I am about to display to you once I pull up the appropriate app. Not that app, you dingbat, another app. And when Scholar Voha mentions about Gani Press, I need you to make a history roll there, Professor Davian.
Yep. 9.
A 9. You know of a Gani Press who is basically like the Napoleon of the Sindalian Empire at this time, before it fell into disarray. He was like a really big naval admiral, like knew his stuff.
Got it.
You know, kind of a deal. So yeah, you're like, okay, they name dropped that. You know, sure. So yeah, flashes this on the wall, basically like a photo receptor sort of deal. Contents of the Imperial Vault transferred to Admiral Paris's flagship. Admiral Paris ordered to set course spinward along Maine to refuge. Imperial family and retainers will follow if defensive lines at Scylla fail. Key dispatched to the Dukes of Alba, Drinax, Deprez, and Yggdrasil. Signed by his hand, Felix Stardragon, the Emperor of Sindal. Felix Stardragon was like, the last emperor of Sindal before the Long Night. After the Villani First Imperium, he was the last emperor, last Villani Empire emperor.
Mm-hmm.
So all this is like clicking for you. You're like, holy crap, this is legit. This is really happening, kind of deal. And
right.
You and like Hot Bezonia, of course, it's like you're like probably the only two in the room, other than Scholar Voha, that this is actually meaning anything for you. The rest of them are like, what? Kind of deal. So yeah, the Hot Bezonia basically tells the tale of like Admiral Perez. She was a big naval captain. He goes into a diatribe like about.
I'll keep him on track so he doesn't get too far off the mark. We're clearly only in this for the treasure, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, of course everyone knows the Empire of Sindal endured for 1,000 years, ruled over the Trojan Reach. The old emperors of Sindal were proud and generous. Their descendants were proud and cruel, and kept order, through their massive naval fleets. Parts of the empire, survived, like Drinax and Alba and some other places. But for the rest of the sector, the fall of Sindal brought it into the interstellar rule of law. Basically, it began the long night after the First Imperium. Basically, it's literally like the fall of the Roman Empire. Like everything got so corrupted and so so it just declined so much that it just fell in on itself. And interstellar travel just became a memory. Like people were not doing it. Like the planet sort of just kind of fell in amongst themselves. So it was cruel irony that perhaps the finest and bravest officer to ever wear the crest of the Star Guard came into her own during that last war. Admiral Gani Perez. She was a brilliant naval officer, beloved by her crew and feared by her enemies. Both loyalists and separatists, both loyalists and rebels courted Perez, and her sense of duty demanded she stay loyal to her oath to the Emperor. But her sense of honor forced her to acknowledge the wholly justified grievances of the province. She led the defense of the Spinward fleets, slowing the advance of the rebels and ensuring the war impacted the civilian population as little as possible. She avoided direct engagements where as possible, preferring to use her light Harrier and Wyvern class ships to attack enemy supply lines and fuel dumps. Wherever a rebel commander used artillery on civilian targets, Perez showed no mercy. The rings of debris that still orbit the homestead of Vum are testament to the wrath of Gani Perez. But not even a commander of her caliber could stop the civil war. Around year minus 1400, as the squadron of surviving ships jumped into the Noricum system, the besieged seat of the emperor. This was the seat of the empire at that time, Noricum. What happened next is a matter of conjecture, but most historians agree that Perez somehow convinced the emperor to hand over the contents of the imperial treasury. Some believe Perez hid the treasury somewhere in Noricum. Others claim she intended to use the treasury as a bribe to convince the last advancing rebels to negotiate. Others believe the last loyal admiral betrayed her oath to the last, at the last, and stole the treasury for herself. No one really knows. Like, she grabbed at the treasure and was gone. And of course, everything was lost. You know, at the end of the Civil War, lost to history. So yeah, no one. You know, if this actually leads towards the actual treasure, it could also not only tell what happened with the treasure and what the treasure is, but what happened to Gani Perez, exactly like that. What happened to her? So yeah. So it gives like another string of coordinates and stuff like that, along with the message that I've got here, that you're looking at, and we're going to need some language and some astrogation rolls in here.
Which language?
Bivalani.
Okay. Coming up. 8.
So yeah, and it's because it's a dialect that you're not really familiar with, but you know enough of it to go, yeah, it's telling us this, and now we need like an astrogation roll to kind of back up the coordinates, track the coordinates.
I believe that's Ev.
That's oh, okay. No one else here has astrogation.
Nope.
Stinky
Got
Pete.
Stinky Pete.
I thought he was communications.
He is communications.
He is.
Yeah, I think he's like a backup astrogator.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I'll roll for Ev. Yeah, you hear her like munching on some Cheetos in the background, and she's like,
"That's such and such."
Yeah. She's like looking at it. She's like, I don't know this sector. I'm not familiar with it at all. And she's like, we can definitely record it and have the computer break it down, but I don't know.
Then that's what we'll do.
Yeah. And at that point, like Lord Rax of the Star Guard, he's like, I know those coordinates. I know exactly where those coordinates are.
I raise an eyebrow.
Yeah, he says, that's pointing towards Noricum. The last known seat of the Sindalian Empire.
What's his name again? Captain what?
Lord Rax. He's the guy. He's the guy that runs the actual Drinaxian fleet.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like the very stripped down version of Gani Perez now. He's the admiral of the Star Guard, like Gani was back then, but Gani's was much larger. He's got like 10 ships. And remember he wanted the carrier to be part of his fleet.
Yeah,
Harrier.
That was just silly.
Yeah, that's just silly. He says that's Noricum, and he says, and there's these other coordinates here, these other things. He's like, Man, I'm really having to go back to my days. Actually, if you have like gunnery, does anybody have gunnery? Roll your
I do.
gunnery.
Actually, yeah. No, I do not.
I got a 10.
10? Okay.
Oh wait, which Noricum is it? The one in Solomon or the Trojan Reach? It'd be Trojan Reach. Never
Trojan
mind.
Reach.
That was just a silly question.
Yeah.
Such ridiculous, James. I have no idea what either one of them means.
But so yeah, the
one's about 10,000 worlds away. The other one's over there.
Literally just around the corner. Yeah. It's an area that Ev hasn't been through, so she wouldn't just know it just looking at it, kind of a deal. We'll give her a pass this one. She rolled a 3. So sorry. But
if she hadn't found the box of Suzy Q's, her fingers wouldn't have been sticky on the calculator. That's what it is.
I know it, right? But yeah, you're looking at the last set of coordinates, and it's like the set of codes that you would enter in like on a particle beam. You're used to the particle barbette on the Harrier, and it's like the codes that you would fire on a targeting solution for the Harrier, which makes no sense.
You're talking to Alacrity. He cracked this one. We gotta throw a door on a vault. I've been here. This is my forte.
but yeah, he's like, but it's where like the origin point of the particle beam would be like this cannon on this ship, blah 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 blah. Where you have like XXX as your coordinates, XYZ as your coordinates and stuff on the ship. The starting coordinates on this firing pattern comes from another planet called ACE. ACE. Yeah. So you have 2 planets to look at. One is talking about where the rest of the code would be at. And like the particle cannon code, it's not complete either. It's like it's missing a couple other places, other coordinates, some more input. And from the way the globe looks, seems to be operating, it's like each place that you go to gets another piece of the firing solution for the particle cannon.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So like the initial code like says go to Noricum, and then find this
scavenger hunt.
Yeah, find the rest of this particle code, on Noricum, which according to the book, I'm not going by the Traveler Wiki or anything. The Noricum system is lightly traveled. Even tourist ships avoided former capital of the Empire. There may be monuments here, but they are deep in the death zones. This is another planet that was, like wrecked, like Drinax, but this was like 2,000 years ago, where Drinax was more like 200 years ago. This was 2,000 years ago, and it's still devastated. Not just from like nuclear explosions and stuff on the surface, but also like biogenic weapons, mutagenic weapons on the surface that are still active. So not exactly a pleasure planet to go to by any means.
It's totally a small world.
Yeah. But it somewhere on here is another place to get another set of coordinates, another message globe or something to get the other coordinates.
So we have 2 planets then to investigate, but we're looking for more globes. Is that correct?
Either definitely for more globes, or at least the codes from the globes.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gathering pieces of the puzzle. It's like the globe is telling you to go to Noricum to get another piece of this puzzle, which the puzzle being the firing solution for the particle beam.
Right.
So basically, like if you gathered all these different solution parts and fed them into the computer of a particle cannon and fired it from these coordinates on ACE, it would point you to like the area
Got it.
that you need to go to.
Yep.
It's very, very elaborate sort of puzzle, I guess, kind of stuff like that. Yeah. Not only do you have to get all the pieces of the coordinates and stuff like that, you literally have to be on ace, fire a particle cannon from this area. Luckily, the Harrier has one, you know, and be able to pinpoint where you got to travel to for where X marks the spot.
Yeah, because luckily nothing moves in space on a 9-axis. But anyway.
Yeah, after 2,000 years. Well, I mean, we're assuming that the computers are going to predict for that as well.
Yeah. Because that's
Interstellar
the
drift.
only way.
Yeah, they're going to have to predict for interstellar drift. Yeah, after 2,000 years, which is a drop in a bucket. Astronomically.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, but still, yeah, there would be movement. Yeah. So yeah, you've got like the first piece of the puzzle here. The next adventure would be heading towards Noricum and getting the next piece. But yeah, that's the game. We went longer than we thought, but we did a lot of backstory that I've been absolutely dying to get to, that we haven't had a chance to do, like Princess Rowell, and dipped a little bit into Teldrift, who literally dipped on us. Oh my God, that was bad. That was so bad. So bad, but so fortunate too. It's like oop.
What happened to Teledrift? I'm gonna look around and like.
I know.
Did we lose him?
He's like back on the ship hiding something. It's really weird. It's super, super duper weird.
Kind of crazy. What did y'all do to him?
Yeah, and of course, Captain Hashna, you're not going to mention the guys that walked out of the room to Sir Alacrity, because why would you? And Sir Alacrity wouldn't tell you because he doesn't know who they are.
Actually, he would.
He would. But Captain Hashna is not going to think that. Why would some guys walked out of the room? So what? You didn't roll really well because she didn't roll really well. They didn't stick in your head. You're like some weirdos.
Yeah, I mean, they're just a bunch of weirdos. Whatever.
Exactly.
Kind of rude. Didn't even say hi.
Didn't even say hi. They don't look like they talk much. Because they don't need to. But anyway, that's an adventure for another time. But we're gonna wrap up this game. Thank you guys so much for playing, and we will end up this recording on. Thank you guys, and end it on 3,